Hello. We just finished watching and analyzing the stuff that was shown in the 1.3 dev live update. And before I go to sleep, I'm just gonna crank one of these out so that I don't have to crank it out later, I guess. We'll go over everything that they showed and also the new character as well as new equipment sets that are coming out. At the beginning of the live stream, they yapped for like an hour about the story and how like the future patches are going to take the story. If you care about that, you can go read a transcript or watch it yourself with some subtitles, so I won't touch on that. Balance. They talked about balancing the 5-star and 4-star characters, but said that it won't be in 1.3. The balance patches are likely to come starting in 1.4. Um, in this patch, there is actually no new like conquest boss, no new monsterlings. It is basically just a dry patch with some new characters and maybe some character specific stories and events and just a lot of gear, I guess. There's not a lot of new content in this one. They talked about reruns, but I don't think they showed off any reruns. So maybe that's coming. Um, New character Brashelle. She looks really cute. Has some alien tentacles. Her sword reminds me of the final boss from Patapon 2. it's it's literally the same thing. And then we'll go over her kit in a bit, but let's scroll down here. We are getting some new guide missions that will give you character dupes supposedly and just better stuff. There's a live background theater. Request turn in immediately. You don't have to walk your ass over to the request board or whatever. Better subscription. You get a 50% discount on synthesis, so you pay 500k instead of 1 million for every fusion that you do. You get 120 free keys every day, and that is not a joke. And you get double monster bag. Pretty good subscription perks. They're going to add sweep to rifts. Yippee! I can spend my 120 something rift tickets. I actually have my game up right now. How many do I have? 137. So I can finally spend all those. We got conquest rankings. That's whatever. They didn't show any rewards for it, so it literally doesn't matter. They added the 2 swimsuit skins that you've probably already seen. And then here's a live background thing. I don't really want to go into it. And to show that they weren't kidding, it is 120 keys every single day. They showed that G1 is going to get a feature banner, probably requiring standard pulls, similar to the Gabby and Ophelia banners. And they did tease Vivian, at least her art. And then we got a bunch of new sets that I will go over later. At the end of the stream, they reveal this code. Let's go, Alfred. Put your code in, get your free stuff. Let's go. Next up, we can talk about Brashelle. Long story short, if no, you all want to skip this part, I speculate that Brashelle, as a main DPS with A0, is going to like off rip be A+ tier, which means I do think that she is probably going to be the strongest character out of the bag that we've seen so far. And she potentially, with A1, has support capabilities rivaling that of Yanhua. And with A4, she is definitely Mina's tier for all intents and purposes. She is probably the strongest character revealed to like in the game as of now, so like she is very good. Uh to go into details, she has this quirk where she kind of behaves like Esther's dust cloud, where Esther requires you to press her skill to set a dust cloud for 6 seconds to deal any form of damage. The condition for Brashelle's dust cloud is switching in or pressing ultimate, where upon switching in, she will gain a buff for 6 seconds that enhances all of her abilities. Um, and enable them to do a tentacle attack. And every time a tentacle attack hits the boss, it deals 10%. It gives a 10% defense shred for 6 seconds. This enhanced state can be extended by casting the skill. Where is the skill? It extends by 3 seconds. So with max CDR, it should be possible to have 12 seconds of her smoke uptime, basically, before she has to switch out. Meaning that you can get a pretty smooth rotation as long as you run max cooldown reduction. While she is in her enhanced state, she can cast EBAs that deal pretty monstrous amounts of damage. Um, Her entire EBA chain at level 16 skills deals around like, if I remember correctly, it's like 1400, 1500, somewhere around there. So it's a pretty strong EBA chain. Um, and her most interesting feature is that she has a Liho style support skill. She has 3 different things. One is a normal support skill, and then she has an enhanced support skill. Both of these happen while she is off field, and she also has an enhanced switch in skill, which happens if you switch in after she does a support skill, similar to Liho. Now, all of these things sound all dandy and stuff, but the real problems come in when we look at the ratios. It states here that her enhanced support skill, which she can do twice, has some ridiculous modifiers. I don't know if this is like first cast and then second cast, or if both of these are one cast and happen twice. It is kind of a big deal, but the damage are large regardless. And then her normal support skill already does Yanhua's support skill damage, which if you've seen my previous video, you would have known that, yeah, Yanhua's support damage hits really freaking hard. And then when she does her Liho switch-in, she does something that is triple Liho switch-in's damage. Her damage ratios are gigantic. These are massive ratios that I don't think we've ever seen before. So overall, her A0 performance looks like it would be a very strong main DPS that has upwards of 12 seconds of field time and 4 seconds of downtime that you can use to swap to other characters, but they're not actually downtime because you're actually casting these enhanced support skills, so you're still DPSing through those 4 seconds. Really good. Her dupes, however, is where they kind of get crazy. Her A1 is what enables her to turn on her Yanhua-like kit, where she summons tentacles on basic attacks 2, 4, and enhanced support skills. And remember, the tentacles is what applies the defense reduction effect. So it seems like she's going to really want this A1 to activate her support capabilities. Also, this just increases her enhanced switch and damage by 50% for no reason. Her A2 gives her EBA's 80% more damage. Why? This is gigantic. Esther only gets 50%. What? A4 increases her defense reduction from 10% to 20%, making it very equivalent to Mina's A4, but also the tentacles just also double in power, which is pretty big. And then A6 doubles the effect of A2 and slaps on an extra 20% boss on top of it. Holy shit. Her SIG is 6 to 12% attack when gaining suppression damage boost. 20 to 40% support slash switch skill damage boost. And also earth damage boost when using support slash switch skills. 20 to 40% max 2 stacks, so 40 to 80%. And it is another critical hit chance secondary, but that's fine because this is a very good SIG. Even generically speaking, you can probably use these 2 effects on someone like Yanhua and Angel. And then obviously the earth damage boost is good. Overall, I think Brashelle is well suited to become one of the strongest characters in the game alongside Mina. In fact, I am more impressed with Brashelle's base kit than I am Mina's kit at a glance. So take what I'm saying with a little bit of caution, but I think Brashelle might be the new strongest DPS in the game, who also happens to be able to support like Yanhua. So she is just a really good character. If you want a rundown of what I said just now, you can always come over here. I do have her page already typed up basically. Um Now let's go over to gears. They did reveal a ton of new gear sets that you can see at the bottom of the summary here on the spreadsheet that I will link in the description. Or to go over here and see my thoughts on each of the gears. Grand Feast Hat says when a retreat skill hits. Now I'm assuming retreat skill means tag out. It increases crit chance. No, not crit chance. It reduces all attribute resistances by 6%. The only character that sustainably does tag out is Bonnie. So this looks like a Bonnie exclusive. They added 4 different gear pieces that increase stagger damage by 7.5%. We all know how mid stagger damage is, so this is probably only useful for filling out a 2-piece set if there's no better option. Tyrant's Helm is one that increases ice damage and also critical hit chance on some conditions. This looks like a side grade to Kustos and possibly a downgrade. Now, the first really good thing here is the loop set, White Wolf, where every time the equipped character uses a support skill, it increases Earth damage by 7.5%. Amazing. And then the 4-piece set doesn't matter. So if you're playing in in an Earth team, you can put this on your Yanhua or Summer Francis and get that 7.5% Earth. Next up is Mountain Emperor or Mountain Sovereign or whatever it's called. This looks terrible. This set, I don't think anyone wants to use this. This is just worse than a Varden set. Vanguard Leather is a 2-piece set that's, I believe, says when attacking an Earth Afflicted enemy, uh, it inflicts a weak debuff by 10%. Which means that this just hyper buffs S Francis and normal Francis. Let's go. This is probably the strongest of all the gear sets that were shown today. Uh, where did it go? It disappeared. Hello? Uh-oh. I lost one. It's Vanguard Leather. Oh, it's back. All right. Next up is this apron thingy. It looks bad. There's this hat that this 2-piece set says on support skill, increase teams what I'm assuming ice damage by 7.5%. Once again, this looks like something you would put on Yon or Summer Francis if you're playing an ice team. We got a brand new set for fire. Overall, these effects just look like better Hanul. I think this will just be the default fire set used by everyone. And then we got a lightning shred by 5% for 5 seconds when using a tag out skill. This is obviously meant for like Reyna, but 5 seconds is laughably bad. And then finally, we have a 2-piece set that says when using a special skill, increase ice attribute damage. Basically a permanent 7.5% ice damage. This competes with Kustos, which, if you don't remember, Kustos is a small uptime 10% followed by a permanent 10% thanks to Nare. So yeah, it is competing with the second line from Kustos. With all that said, the only things that might change are these. The only things that have any meta relevance. So Yanhua could potentially use this for Earth and this for Water when playing with those teams. Summer Francis can use this when playing with Earth, this for playing with Water, and also this for just generic good stuff. Bonnie could use the new tag out thingy, maybe. And also any fire DPS can use the new Manwolf set. and these seem to be the only ones that are worth farming. If you want if you want to access the spreadsheet, um, I will link it in the description. You can come look at these tabs yourself and look for yourself if these things are worth using. I have written up Brashelle a little bit based on what I saw from the live stream, and I also did put her in the tier lists. So yeah, that'll be all. And I have not slept, and it is 9:14 a.m. So I'm now going to sleep. Thank you all for watching. Bye bye.